Welcome back to the Basin Burnouts YouTube channel. We're gonna work on some dirt to demos today. I got the heater on, so you're gonna hear the heater kicking on. It's been a little crazy around here, a little cray cray for the first part of the year, because yeah, it's that big snow we got, and look at the Malibu sitting out there all pathetic. So I got the heater on. It feels pretty good in here. I think it is probably 50 something. Yeah, it's like 52 in here. Got this little heater right here with a fan blowing on it, and that one up there in the corner. Yeah, it does pretty good in here. So sorry, I'm all winging around on you here, guys. I quit drinking caffeine. I did something that I never thought I'd do. I quit drinking caffeine, and I have one of these today, and I'm kind of caffeine buzzing right now. So if I'm moving a little fast, just let me know in the comments, because I'm feeling pretty good right now. So my plan today is I'm gonna get this factory alternator off here. I don't know what this alternator is. I imagine this old man that that did this vehicle, this is probably an aftermarket alternator, but this is going to come off. We're going to fix kind of this mess right here. What I want to do is I want to make sure, I want to put this battery in the car, because I have two of these actually. I just have two of these laying around, two of these Die Hard batteries, big AGMs. So this is what's going to power. I'm going to have a dual voltage setup. The alternator that's going here is going to be the alternator that feeds the lithium bank, and it's going to be a 16 volt, and this is going to be the 12 volt, 14 volt, whatever, alternator that's going to feed the mids and highs. So I have this alternator right here, which was, I bought this brand new. This is I think a Mastercraft alternator or something. Anyway, I had this alternator on my Malibu outside when it had a small block in it. This is a 120 amp alternator. This would be plenty with an AGM, and I'm going to steal one of those caps over there because I have the space right here. So we're going to have an AGM and a cap and 120 amps of alternator to feed basically just the mids and highs. Shouldn't be no issue. And then we'll have the 16 volt alternator feeding the lithium bank. I can't remember how big the lithium bank is right now. 160 amp hour, 180 amp hour. I don't know. I'm new to the lithium stuff, but it's going to be pretty good size lithium bank in the long configuration to fit in the back. So I want to put a new radiator in this car, because it looks like down there that it probably had some leakage at one time. And this car is going to sit for hours and hours and hours. I don't want it to sit there with a radiator that I don't know anything about. I want to put a new upper and lower radiator hose on it. I'd like to do that. I might even just randomly pull the thermostat out of the car and just run it with no thermostat. Also, the guy that he had this janky radiator hose down here, and it runs right up against this stupid oil filter thing that he has right here, which is a sharp edge. Runs right up against that. That's this oil filter cooler idea. So that's got to go. Look at the transmission fix we have right here. Look at that. So we got all sorts of fixes on this car. Yeah, we still got gas in there. Yeah, we still got gas in there. So that's good. I really want to get this box out of here, but that might take a little bit. I might wait for that. I don't know. The good thing about these G bodies is that when this comes off, this is all flat firewall right here. So it just takes one flat piece of metal, and I can have that whole piece of metal if I want cut out of whatever. Usually they just put 10 over it, you know, like I don't know, 16 gauge or something like that. But hell, if I wanted to, I could have it cut out of 1/4 inch steel. I mean, it's just a flat piece of steel right there, which would be awesome about helping brace the firewall. And then if I want to stick a meter down in the kick, all that's going to be good to go. So let me start. I think I'm going to start by pulling this radiator shroud off. That'll give me a little bit of space to work right here, because I want to be able to get, like, I don't want this digging into my hands here. This really needs to come out. I could tip this forward and get this condenser out of here. I want to make a mount for the battery, because this battery does not sit in there because it's just too big. But I'd like to get this battery mounted in there somehow. And then I'd like to get the cat bank over here, mount it down. And then I could figure out the wiring, which I'll just do like everybody else. I'll run some wires over top, and we'll call it a day. So let me get some work done. I don't do time lapses, so let me put you on hold, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so other than cussing because I don't have enough garage space, I keep stepping on everything. Look at this. I mean, woo. I could put a whole another motor in here. Jeez, oh Pete. This is how much room. I mean, we have, look at this. I can't even touch the radiator. And the radiator is a very, very small 2-core radiator, which, look at this. Can you guys, I don't know if you can get, here, listen. It's just crumbling. Wow. I'm glad I am going to put a radiator in, because I'm touching the radiator and it's crumbling to pieces. So, I'm going to take some measurements off this radiator, and then I'm going to try to not make a mess and take it out of here, which you know how that is with radiators when you pull radiators out. I don't even know how much fluid this has in it. I guess I should check. I don't know if I've ever even had the cap off of this. Okay, well, I think there's some stuff down in there. Yeah, I can touch it with my finger, so. All right, so I guess I will try to drain this radiator. I'd really like to be able to stick a garden hose in this and flush it all the way through the motor, but that's not going to happen today. And I need to find hoses too. If you've ever went to the parts store and looked for hoses, man, it is. What kind of car is it? It's a 1983 Buick Regal wagon. What kind of motor does it have? How much tire pressure is in the tires? I don't fucking know. Just look for the fucking hose. That's what you would want to scream sometime. So let me try to get this radiator out of here, and then I'll start working on this alternator and battery mounts, because I can at least get those since I don't have this radiator and all this junk in my way. I can't believe how much room is there. I want to put a mechanical fan back on this motor, and I have a flex fan, good old finger chopper 9000, around here somewhere. I brought it in so I could put it on the car, and like everything, I lay it in a spot where, hey, I'll remember it if it's laying here. And yeah, I don't know where it's at. I got it's either brackets down here. Crap. Okay, well, anyway, so let's do some more work. Okay, you know it's getting serious when I take the beanie off. So radiator came out fairly easy. What didn't come out was the lower transmission cooling line, which I got it to break loose. I even had a line wrench on it and heat and hit it with some PB Blaster and then heat it and PB Blaster and still didn't want to come off. So by the time I started to do, somebody's put these compression fittings on here. So apparently these lines have rusted out before or something. And I mean, literally, they've been fixed there. They were fixed here. Yeah. So I'm gonna do like I did in my Malibu. I'm gonna get some high pressure line, and I'm literally just gonna come off of this and straight into there. I haven't had no issues with that. I might even flare the end of that a little bit just to keep the line on it. And I've never had any issues with transmission lines. As long as you use the right line, you don't typically have any issues. But yeah, so look at the room. Gee, Pete, it is, I'm not kidding you, from the front of the motor to the front core support of the car, or the front bumper support, it's 3 foot. There's 3 feet. You could literally stick another engine into this car. Whew. I mean, hell, nowadays the front of the car would be right here and be all crammed up in there. But there's 3 foot of car here. X braces. I mean, you know, the cars in the 80s, I don't want to say were tanks, because cars in the 60s and 70s were tanks, because the idea was that the car itself will protect you, and the stiffer, the more rigid, the more it was built like a tank, the more safe you was. But then we start realizing that, you know, the fleshy parts on the inside of the car are going to bounce around. So it was better for the car to absorb the impact like a marshmallow. That's why cars are built like toothpicks nowadays, because of safety concerns. So I always say, you know, you can get a drivetrain out of an old car like this to last you, I don't know, maybe 100,000 miles. That was about the rule back in the day. Drivetrain, stuff like that, because of emissions. Now I'm gonna point that out, because of how bad we had to choke these things down. They were basically chewing on their own exhaust fumes. You could get 100K out of one of these motors, but you could get 500,000 out of the whole car if you treated it right and didn't have no issues with it. Nowadays, you can get 500,000 out of the motor and drivetrain, and you're lucky to get 100,000 out of the car itself. So we switched roles. You know, now the car's made out of thin metal, cheap, whatever. So to me, that's how hot rodding is going to go in the future. It's going to be a junkyard of just nothing but motors and transmissions, and then you're going to have to be looking for shells for cars instead of the old cars where you're vice versa. You were looking for shells of cars everywhere, but you were looking for motor and drivetrain. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna clean some of this. I'm gonna vacuum all this out right in here and clean it all up the best I can. I didn't spill that much, so I'm pretty good here. Got a whole bucket full of antifreeze there. If I was cheap, I'd reuse it, but I'm not going to. And then I think I'm gonna give her the old rebuild down in here, and then start figuring out how I'm gonna mount these batteries in here, because I look like I need it to go down in here, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it down in here. I got 2 caps over there, 2 cap banks, but I don't want to run just cap banks. Because I don't use my test bench no more. That battery that's on over there is pretty much poop now. You seen what it looked like in the last video. So, but I got those 2 big AGMs. Let's try to use at least one of those. And then I'll throw a cap bank in here after I clean everything up and give it a little rebuild. So, all right. Hold on. Okay, so I think I'm just going to rebuild the whole front of this car here for you guys. I'll just set the camera up and let you watch me rip this out real quick. And then I think I'll end the video because I'm already going on 15 minutes, and I don't think you guys want to sit here and watch me work for the rest of the day. So let's see what we can do here. Where are you guys going to be good at? I'm going to say probably right here. You guys can't see, let me know. Okay, now all this whole cabinet over here with my future ex-wife Anna Kournikova on it, and I don't have a single can of black spray paint. So the only thing I have up there is Herculiner truck bed coating. So I'm gonna rebuild this whole front end real quick, and then we're gonna call it a day, or at least you guys are. I'm gonna keep working. Oh yeah, I forgot how bad this stuff stinks. Woo. Oh my God, I'm gonna be buzzing. That grease and dirt gives it extra texture. You know, that's kind of the one thing that's nice about working on a piece of shit car, is that you don't care. You don't have to tape anything off. Nothing has to look great. Look, I'm spraying on the outside of the car. Who cares? I did go around and file some of these because, I mean, they didn't care about the workers back in the day. They didn't care about you working on this car. So everything has sharp edges on it. And tears you to pieces. So I guess I should be doing the backside first so I don't have to lean over this crap. Oh my God, guys, I'm gonna be buzzing like hell. Ooh, she's looking good though. It looks like a brand new car. We'll take it to Mecum and sell it. Be like that Cadillac. Brought 100 grand for a Cadillac Brougham because it had 8,000 miles on it. It was like a 94. Can you imagine that? 100 and I think 2,000, I think is what I've seen. Guys, I graduated high school in 94. And you go get $102,000 out of a car that I graduated high school the same year? Come on, really? That was like the cost of a house back then. Man, this front end rebuild is a lot easier than I remember. Remember, this taking me hours to rebuild front ends of these cars. I will say, I did so many G-body front ends. So many G-body spindles. Let's rebuild that steering box real quick. Yep, cool. I did so many tie rod changes, all that stuff, that I could take front end of a G-body apart and have it back together. Now this is before I turned into an old man, but I can get it done in about 2 hours. That was about my working time, was about 2 hours to tear a whole front end of a G-body apart and put it back together. And I mean from jack stand to jack off. See what I did there? So, I'm running out of this stuff. So I gotta go faster. Man, I want to do the whole engine of this stuff. When you guys come to a show and you see this car, And you're thinking, wow, this car is a piece of shit. Yeah, it is. I told you guys it was. Damn it, I'm out. Well, front of this car looks brand new. Holy shit. And just in time, because I am out. Alright guys, that's as far as you go. Unless you want to sit there and watch me cuss and rant and rave. I don't mind doing longer videos if you want them. But I don't get a shit ton of views on my channel, so I can't see you guys sitting there watching me for an hour do stupid stuff like Vice Grip Garage or something like that. Because, oh yeah, I guess I better show you the rebuild, huh? Look at this. Perfect. Perfect. That radiator too, guys, was I'm glad I did take that out. That radiator was completely shot in this car. I mean, it is crunchy. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's crunchy. Look down there. Yeah, I'd say, yeah. So I'm glad I did that, because I don't want to drag my junk all the way to a show somewhere and then sit there for 10 minutes and all of a sudden poof, a radiator hose goes and I can't give demos after I drug it 6, 8, 10 hours away. So yeah, gotta get the mechanical working on this car, and then after all this stupid stuff, alternator brackets, radiator, all this stuff, I gotta work on brakes. And I might just do it to where it's got front brakes. I don't care. Just as long as I can pull it on the trailer, stop, back it in the show, stop, whatever I got to do. So, all right, guys. I will, next, when we pick up next, I might have an alternator on it. I haven't bought the 16-volt alternator yet. I got to get that. I got to get a radiator now. And then I got to figure out where that mechanical fan is. If not, I got to buy another mechanical fan, which I'll find it as soon as, it might be back in the shed, but it's under a foot of snow right now. So, yeah. Anyway, love you guys. See you guys in the next video. Have a good day.